week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders was nightmare fuel. Pure, unadulterated, gory, balls to the wall nightmare fuel. But first, a word from our sponsors. My 4X razor has 4 high-quality stainless steel blades, and you can have this bad motherfucker shipped right to your door. Cut ties with traditional razor blades, and sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Remember guys, you can check out a link for that in the description box below if you feel like being a lazy asshole. It's dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, razor pun. Another week, another Stardust Crusaders, and another stand user for Jotaro and his friends to throw down with. This week's episode was terrifying. It had some of the most fucked up imagery that I have seen from the entire series, and just in general. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were fighting against this stand user this week, who might be one of the most sadistic and disturbing characters I have ever seen. And what's really funny about it is the stand user is actually a baby, an 11-month-old baby. How are you even supposed to fight against this thing? But what really makes it unique is not only is this baby a genius, and it has nothing to do with those shitty movies, is that it has this stand that can attack you in your dreams. This stand user is a perfect combination of Stewie Griffin from Family Guy and Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. It's crazy. Not only that, but the baby stand is known as Death 13, and when it's inside of your dreams, it takes the form of this Grim Reaper combined with a clown. It's pure nightmare fuel. The episode immediately gets your attention because it opens up with Kakyoin having this dream where he's at this carnival and hanging out on a Ferris wheel with this cute little dog, when suddenly the Grim Reaper clown just appears in front of him and cuts off the dog's face with his massive scythe. Kakyoin immediately wakes up in a cold sweat and is freaked the hell out, and he even has a small cut on himself, and that's of course the first clue to let you know that this thing can attack you in their dreams, a la Freddy Krueger. This baby's actually pretty smart, and it actually manipulates some of the villagers into going to the airport where Joseph Joestar is, and they actually get them to take this baby with them because they make it seem like that it's actually sick and they could take it to the hospital on the way. This is a terrible idea because they're constantly being attacked by stand users, but they're not going to say that outright because they'll just sound crazy. But this is when you know that when they're finally going to get up into the sky, they're going to have to deal with this baby. And immediately, both Polnareff and Kakyoin fall asleep, and they both end up in the same dream. They're at the same creepy carnival, and then suddenly, Death 13 appears, exploding out of the dead dog's body, because it was not enough that we just had to see its face get cut off. It starts to attack Polnareff, and it plays with him a lot, which is really messed up, by taking his scythe and putting it inside of his mouth. But they actually do end up waking up Polnareff. The problem is, when you actually wake up, you can't remember what you were dreaming about, so he just can't really tell them what's going on. Except that Kakyoin gets it really worse. This is probably one of the craziest parts of the episode, because not only does the Grim Reaper guy actually, make Kakyoin meld into the metal of the Ferris wheel, but he literally grabs his face and has all of these eyeballs, multiple eyeballs, ooze out of his mask into Kakyoin's mouth, which suddenly grows spider legs and crawl all over his face. I'm not doing any of this justice. This is something you need to see for yourself. Watch it in the dark and you will be freaked out. However, Kakyoin is really smart. He knows that if he tries to leave and wake up, he's not going to be able to remember anything. And at first it looks like he's trying to warn everybody by cutting his arm, but he's actually cutting a message into his arm that says, "Baby stand." And through a course of ridiculous events, which believe it or not causes Joseph Joestar to crash the plane, yeah, big surprise, he actually finds out that he wrote this on his arm, but he doesn't really know how to handle it quite yet. And I don't know why he's not telling anybody about this. It's pretty obvious. Look at the baby with the vampire fangs. Otherwise, that's the end of this episode, which looks like it's going to be a nice two-parter. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? It was so good, and it was so messed up and disturbing. And I was really harping on the show Tokyo Ghoul the other day, because the censorship in the show is just ridiculous. But at least in JoJo, it's not too heavy. The scene with the dog at the beginning of the episode, and when the Death 13 was erupting from its body, was not censored that much. They basically just put a small black bar over it. Not even a bar, it's more like they just black out the area they don't want you to see at all. And you totally understand what's going on throughout the entire episode when those scenes are going on, and it makes it really disturbing. The actual Death 13 is, like I said, very sadistic. This baby has some serious issues, and the problem with this opponent is, how are they going to fight it? I mean, if they even hurt the Death 13 in any form, since it's a stand, it's going to end up hurting the baby. And I don't know how they're going to get around the fact that they're going to have to kill this kid, but I don't know, they might find a way to not let that happen, because if that does go down, this is officially the most fucked up dark series I think I've ever read, and that's saying a lot, because I love Berserk. But this series is just, again, it's another homage to horror films, and we've already seen so many classic ones before, and they managed to include Nightmare on Elm Street in this one. The minute I saw that the stand's powers had to do with dreams, I immediately thought of Freddy Krueger, especially the scene where Kakyoin woke up and he actually had the cut on his hand, because that's what they do in those movies. When someone wakes up, they realize they have a wound, and they're like, how did that get there? It makes no sense. And that's what they're doing this week. The actual design of Death 13 is also just really awesome. Like I said, it's a combination of Grim Reaper because it has the scythe and the big robe and a weird, like, clown mask, which has no eyes, except for that one scene when they were just melting out of its face and going into Kakyoin's mouth, which was so fucked up and nasty. This was just a great episode, and I really want to see Jotaro do something, but really this looks like it's going to be Kakyoin's story, and we've had a lot of Polnareff's side stories, and I actually want to see Kakyoin do a little bit more, and this definitely looks like it's going to be his main opponent, and it looks like they're going to be fighting against them again next week. I don't know how he's going to address his teammates, but I can't wait to see how that's going to happen. But otherwise, animation, artwork, really awesome. Whenever they went to the dream world, they really took advantage of the fact that they could do anything, and of course the colors were all really crazy and vibrant and awesome, and this was just a very visually appealing episode, but it also just happened to look like shit your pants scary at the same time. So check this one out if you're into action anime or even into classic horror films, because this is like the perfect combination of both of them. Otherwise, I loved this episode for how incredibly unique it was and how I couldn't predict anything until about midway through. It was a little slow at the very end of the episode when they finally crashed the plane, but otherwise, this was a really stellar episode with a lot of really creepy imagery and some pretty cool action scenes, and that Death 13 has really got it coming to it. The only thing is, I don't know how they're going to do that because they're not going to kill a baby. Otherwise, 9 out of 10, guys. Check it out. Awesome stuff. Thank you for watching my review today. Before you guys leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It really helps them out a lot. And please tell me what you thought about this week's very disturbing episode of Stardust Crusaders. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.